Hello, hello, hello. Hey. Yo, this is the third tutorial. I think so. It's gonna start in this tutorial. I guess they'll start teaching things in Blender itself.
So to get started with this geometry nodes tutorial, we are going to download Blender 3.0. I'll pretty disappointed with it, alright? Because we have been dealing with previously, the new geometry node editor lets you work with the nodes and create procedural geometry with it, alright? The one good thing about the new geometry node editor is that it's quite similar to the old shader editor. So just to give you a better example, if I click on new, this will bring geometry network, and in this one on the left we have geometry input and on the right we have geometry output. So basically what this means is whatever geometry object we are working on, the input that is being called upon here, and whatever changes we do here and the nodes we add, so the effect of everything will be compiled and will be sent to the geometry output and will be sent back to the viewport. Now to work with the geometry nodes, all the short commands, the way you navigate around the view and everything, it works exactly like how you work with the rest of the editors. And if you want to bring up any new node, simply press Shift A and this will give you the add menu, just like how you get the add menu in the viewport. And I'm using left click selection for this tutorial purpose just to avoid any confusion. So let's bring up one geometry and transform. So here we have a transform node, and this node,
I guess now I could just take this side and start with what he is saying. Let me just check if my audio is going good or something. Oh, the media source just there. Okay, alright. Hello. Hello. It's easy to do with this. Hello. Hello. I guess now it's good. I'll just reduce it. Yeah. Okay. Now it's good. YouTube.
what it does is basically it will transform whatever object we are applying this on. So in this case, if I drag this in middle of this,
so transform. First is transform. Transform geometry. It's kind of different than these. I think so. Like, there's some difference in this. Smart choices. Oh, okay.
network, it will automatically pick up that network and connect the geometry to geometry, and same to the.
I think I should promote the stream a bit. I forgot to promote the stream. Damn. Uh, damn, I didn't make a promotion thingy in this. Uh, we share my live stream. There's like so like there are no people joining the stream. The channel is so dead. Okay. Wait. How do I promote it in his server? Media, I guess. Damn. I think I should have streamed a bit before. There's a self promotion. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
The output. So far there haven't been any changes. That's because for that to work we'll have to make some changes here. So just like how you tweak properties on any of the side panels or
So
property.
basically the transform node, if I, so this is the geometry, the input node, this is the output node, and in between it's like all the thingies, all the commands it needs. The transform node is like just transform.
Property panels. Similarly, you can tweak properties here, like the transform, scale, rotation, and if you'd like, you can also animate. For instance, if I press I on the Z on the
I think I should put this here. It's so freaking. Yeah, I put it here. Yeah, this is better.
transform and the rotation, that will set a key here. For some reason right now it's not showing the keys here, but if I go to the frame number 90 and move this up and turn this around and 180,
Oh, that's kind of helpful actually. If I set a keyframe, if I set a keyframe like this, like this,
now this should animate our object.
Yeah, it's animated, but I thought there would be keyframes or something.
From here, just like how you rename your materials or shaders, you can give any name to your geometry node network.
Okay.
So let's call this one my first geo node. So right now we have a very simple thing going on. It's basically a very simple animation going on. So now some might would
Okay, I'll just follow him what he does. He just made some kind of. Let's make it 90. So it will be more easier. 45 and just going up and 90. It's going down and 360. I just made what he made. Yeah.
would ask, why go through all this trouble when you can simply create one cube here and rotate this one in the viewport and make a animation key. Now the thing is, whatever changes we do, let's say this is a local object, on this one I'll whatever one cube here and rotate this one in the viewport and make a animation key. Now the thing is, whatever changes we do, let's say this is a local object, on this one I'll make a animation without geometry nodes. Not really a perfect animation. Perfect loop, but anyways, so what's the difference in this animation and this animation? Now this animation what we have made is basically only working on this object. So whatever work we have done, that has been applied to this object. Now if we were to transfer this to any other object, then we'll have to do some manual work like copy pasting keys or transferring properties or something like that.
Oh.
But in this case, the work is not happening on that object. It's basically whatever the transformation we have done is being recorded in this node network. Let me just delete this. So in this case, I'll just bring one Suzanne head here. Now, if I bring the same node network, my first geo node, and load it on top of this Suzanne, you'll see the exact.
Whoa, what? Wait. There's no way. Bruh. What?
Same animation is going on.
Yo. Okay, that makes sense. But there's a problem. Why is it so freaking Oh, okay, I get it. Here, keyframes. They move like exactly same. That makes sense. so I don't have to copy paste everything in that. Yo, bro, I could have made this scene that. Ah, damn. Wait a minute. So, wait, wait, wait. So I had animated this like the army scene. I just like. I think I have it. I used the array modifier and it was like crazy lagging. I just made it still. I guess. This scene, I guess. Yeah. Bro, I had to manually animate this shit. Like literally, like these three models, I had to like place one after another, and like just uh, shift D, like duplicate them, place them here, and like just uh, uh, like change some things. It took me like uh, I think it took me less time, but I mean I could have just done that. Like, damn! Just look at this. This is so magnificent. Yeah. So
without me having to
next.
transfer any of the properties, and it's working exactly as it is, and whatever updates I do here, that will update the network everywhere and the animation will be updated. So this is a very small example. So whatever work we do here, it's basically being recorded in the nodes, and you can use that effect, animation, materials, any of the interactions, any of the modifiers, all of that is basically a one node group, and you can use.
So basically, it would be less laggy, or it would take less space for my PC, and I'll have to I'll not have a huge collection of things. Hehe. I mean that's useful.
that node group on any other object, and it will give you the same result, same output. All right, so that's the fun part about this. Okay, so now for some reason it's showing me the keys for the node. Okay, that's good to know. So we have a transformation going.
All right, it's showing the keys, so I just had to. That's useful actually. I could use the separate vector stuff and like use the like just press that vector thingy and I'll have these, and I could just go in the graph editor and like I don't have to like mess anything up. That's good. That's good. Not dope sheet. Action. No. Timeline. Yeah, timeline. Is the music working? Yeah, as I expected. If I go into and just come back, yeah, it's working properly. I don't know what they want to do is.
Going on, and if you want to move this node out of this network, you simply have to hold Alt and drag it out, and that
Oh, on and right out. And it doesn't work. Okay.
will disconnect your node. Just drag it over to connect it, and hold Alt and drag it out of it. Pretty simple. So I'll just delete this network with Control X. Now if I just delete this with
I could
X,
just-
then it will delete that node and disconnect everything else. We don't want that. If you want to keep the network and just remove this from in between, Control X is the key. And if you want to cut a network, just simply hold Control and right click and slice your network.
Oh,
Control, right click and drag to cut the wire between two networks. Alright? And if you want to connect one node to the last one, the final output, anything you want to preview the output, then the short command is holding the shift alt and click, and that will connect any selected nodes and connect it to the output. So let me show you a better example. For instance, I have a transform node and this goes here. Now let's make a duplicate of this, and now in this case, if I want to
really?
this goes here.
Okay, shift to yeah.
Now let's make a duplicate of
After Effects.
this, and now in this case, if I want to preview this, it won't show me a preview because the input geometry is missing. For that, I'll have to connect this one here. So this one is on the left and this one is on the right. So in case if you want to make a duplicate of a node but still want to keep the previous networks intact, then Control Shift D is the key, and it will leave the previous networks connected.
Control Shift D. Oh.
And then you can Shift Alt and click, and that
Shift Alt. No, Shift Alt. Yes.
will show you the output, the final one. Now here we have two inputs, like this transform node is giving us the value of -2.5 and this one is basically giving us the value of 3.6, I mean the position of 3.6. Similarly, I can make one more maybe and place it right at the top somewhere.
Control Shift D.
Over here. So we have one cube but three different positions. Now what if I want to keep all of these three options and make it into one? So in that case, I'll go to the geometry and click on the join geometry.
Join geometry.
Geometry.
Everything goes here. Oh, okay. So it's a particle system now. Bro, what is this doing? What? Oh, also, it's like everything is selected in one object. I'll just shift it here.
And combine all of these three output. So basically from one cube we made three cubes, and any changes if any changes I do in this cube will be seen on all of these duplicates.
What? Wait a minute. Let me see. Oh, so basically a particle system. Yeah, it's good.
All right. So let's delete all of this. I'll just bring one Suzanne head.
Bruh. Why does bro keep deleting and adding stuff? Monkey. So okay, geometry node.
And let's go to the front view. I'll call this network Suzanne. Let's make something meaningful out of whatever random.
Suzanne. No, I'll call it Monkey.
Experiments we are doing. So click drag and this will connect your transform node or any other node. So I'll make one simple abstract out of this just to explain the basic commands. So we have one Suzanne head here. Now let's make a duplicate of this. Let's transform this.
Shift D. Oh, the input. Okay. So the input, it could go for like two things at one. Like it could go for n number of things. Okay, but the output only goes for one. Oh, got it. So we just move it somewhere. Move it somewhere near. Like my laptop screen is so small, I can't even see it properly.
This way. Let's add join geometry so that we can see both of the Suzanne heads. Alright. Similarly,
Okay.
I'll bring one more connection here.
Okay, you brought one. Shift D. No. Ah, it's the join geometry node in this.
And this could
Oh, he's cooking something. Okay. So basically, you just what? Repeat it like this. This one I can do like this. This one I can do done that way. Dude, I can use this. I can make wings from this shit. Someone is pinging me. The heck? Stream. Where this guy?
be
Sure.
one more Suzanne head stacking up here. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm just making one simple pile of Suzanne heads arranged in a
it, it when he calls it Suzanne head, it feels so funny. How did he scale? Like, bro, it doesn't make sense. Yo, for real, bro. Welcome to the stream. I know the stream is kind of delayed, but yeah. I'll make something more special from 2. Oh shit, it's so big. That's what she said. See? Oh wait a minute. I can just, yeah. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm learning geometry nodes in Blender. It's just maths. Like I'm tired of making like a single. If I want to make something, I'll take a cube and do something. Bro. Oh, bro, YouTube is like, bro. I think you can't write that kind of messages. Is bro learning to make Blender to make? Bro, you can't type that. The YouTube is like blocking your words. Is it? I don't know. Wait, let me check my OBS. Yeah, it's hiding your words. The edge thingy, you can't type that, I guess. I don't know what happened. Family friendly, guys. Be family friendly. Yo, look at this monkey. Is it me or your audio is overlapping? Is it overlapping? Yo. No, I don't think so. It's overlapping. Now. No. It's not overlapping. Is it? No, it's not overlapping. It's you. What happened? Yo, where did the huh? Something happened. Uh, what what just happened? I don't know how is it overlapping. I guess it's my phone. I guess. I think so. It is good now. Why are you deleting it? It's not like I'm gonna be angry or something. It's fine. I just have to bring it close. I don't wanna break my laptop. It's playing your YouTube disc. Oh, okay. I think so. That's why I know. Dude, at the same time. Yeah, happens.
Kind of like pile.
Let's continue.
Now, just for the sake of it, just to explain few things, I'll bring a few more, and I'll just fast forward this part so that you guys don't have to get bored with the repetitive task which I'm doing right now. So here I have 5 Suzanne heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Wait, let me make 5 Suzanne. I'll make 6 Suzanne grades. I mean 6, 7. Control Shift D. Okay, that's how you do it. This one will go down, I guess. I want them to like look at one go. 0.3. Nah, it's too small. Alright, bro. See you later. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be this. Okay, it's becoming like a pile or something. It's like piling up. Ah, it's the laptop screen. Yeah. I mean, using geometry nodes, I think it's better than doing something manually. Yeah, I'll stick with
and arranged.
these
I basically manually arranged
5.
it. In future, you won't have to do this. There are better ways to achieve some random results like this, like random rotation, random scale. But just for this first day, I didn't want you to complicate things. So once you have these nodes like 4 or 5 stacked over here, now these are taking too much space. So if you want to hide these nodes, you can simply press select all of these or circle
Okay.
select and then hit H on the
Monkey.
keyboard, and then that ways all the nodes will collapse. But still these are taking quite some space here. So what you can do is you can just scale it down like with the S, just like how you scale objects in the viewport. You can scale these down like this. So now we have these 5 nodes neatly stacked.
Yo,
But
hold up, hold up. Someone is messing with my stream. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's all good now. I am making you a moderator, bro. Rekids. I know who was messing with this thingy, but it's all good now. Okay.
It's just like a.
How the economic machine works in 30 minutes. The economy works like a
are taking and then hit H on the keyboard, and then
H.
that ways all the nodes will collapse. But
Oh.
still these are taking quite some space here. So what you can do is you can just scale it down like with the S,
I
just like
guess
how
so.
you scale objects in the viewport. You can scale these down like this. So now we have these 5 nodes neatly stacked, but even then it's really difficult to identify which node is doing what work. I mean, if I were to do some guesswork, I'm not quite sure which Suzanne head is located where. So there are a few things you can do to make your node network visually more readable. So if you press N, which gives you side properties just like any other editor, So what you can do is from here you can change few things about the nodes. For instance, this node is the top left, so we can label this one Suzanne top left.
Oh. Where's the node thing?
Node gives you side properties. So there are a few things you can do to make your node network visually more readable. So if you press N, which
Okay. And okay, this is bringing the other. It's here. I'm so dumb. So this one, which monkey is this? Big bottom one. This one is right. Huh.
gives
What?
you side properties just like any other editor. So what you can do is from here you can change few things about the nodes. For instance, this node is the top left, so we can label this one Suzanne top left. And if you
Where's the nail labeling thing? Oh, it's here. Bottom. Yeah.
if you'd like you
Oh no.
can also give it some color. Similarly, this one is basically the main right one, top right, and then give it some color.
Oh.
Similarly, I can rename these as well. So at this moment, these nodes are the renaming and all that, we might won't need it, but this is just to give you an example that you can arrange your nodes and you can color code it and also name your nodes, and that will actually help you make it more readable. So if you
Yeah.
hit H again, that will expand your nodes and then you can scale it up if you'd like. You can also arrange your nodes in whatever way you prefer. So let's say if there is some special arrangement going on of the objects, you can do that. That is totally up to you. However you want to make your nodes readable, that is up to you. So bottom right, bottom, middle left, top right. So now these nodes are arranged in same way these models are arranged. So I'm just going to hide these again and scale it down like this. Now what I would like to do is apply some subdivision surface modifier on these nodes. So for that, I'll just hit Shift A and bring mesh subdivision surface, and then I'll just drag this one right after the joint geometry.
Oh. Oh, yo, my PC may crash. What? It didn't work. It should work actually. Subdivide mesh. Subdivide surface, not mesh. Subdivide surface. Yo.
And
MKHD.
change the subdivision level to 2. So now all the models that are going in this network after the joint geometry will be subdivided twice. Now try to read the order of this node network. So what's happening is, first we have the main geometry of the Suzanne, which is this one. So after that, we have 5 different transformations going on. This, and this. I'm holding Shift Alt and clicking on these nodes to
Oh, shift alt. Shift alt. Shift alt. Shift alt. Okay. Nice.
review these. Now then, all of these 5 nodes are going into one joint geometry, which is basically converting all these 5 models into one model. And then after that, we have this subdivision surface. Now instead of this, if I drag these here or here, then it will only work on whichever model. This one is the top right one. So before going into the joint geometry, we are using the subdivision surface.
Can you believe traditional modeling will finally be replaced by Trippo? The level of detail far exceeds.
And that will only affect this model. So in this case, if we want all these models to have subdivision surface, then all the 5 networks needs to have subdivision surface, which is really not really an efficient way of dealing with it. So instead of that, I'll just drag it here. Now let's add some few more simple things to this network. So just for fun, what I'll do is I'll add one simple effect which is called convex hull. So let's go to the geometry, convex hull, and what this
Convex hull.
does is basically whatever mesh you have, it creates a nicely packed mesh around it. So in this case, what we need is we need convex hull to work.
It's for the particle thing, yeah, as I remember. Yeah.
Work on all these meshes that we have here, these. So in that case, what we will have to do is we'll have to use convex hull after the joint geometry node. So instead of taking the original input, which is this one, we need this input. So I'll cut this network, control and right click, and instead plug this one here. And now if I shift alt and click on this one, you can see the convex hull is basically wrapping all those 5 Suzanne heads with this tightly packed mesh. Now again, if we want both of these inputs, both of these results to work together, then we'll have to bring geometry and joint geometry. You can also do a quick search join geometry and plug these here. But in this case you won't be able to see the results. That's because the main mesh is hiding behind this convex hull. So now that we have this convex hull, instead of this being solid, what I would like to do is make a wireframe out of this. So to do that, what I would need is I would need all these edges of this mesh to become curves, and then we can later make those curves into wires. So first let's select this one, this node, the convex hull, because we want this convex hull to become wire mesh, not these. So after the convex hull, I'll bring curve, mesh to curve, and plug it over here. What this will do is basically convert that geometry into curves. But by default the curves will not render in the final render or even in the viewport. For these lines to render, you will have to give some thickness to these lines. Basically you will have to give it some geometry. So to do that, you'll have to convert these into mesh again. So now we'll have to make these curves to mesh. Now these curves are mesh technically, but even now it doesn't have any thickness. It doesn't have any profile, so this profile is missing. So what we will do is we'll go to the curves, curve primitive, and add one curve circle and plug this one over here. So basically all those lines are now a big cube, and we are not able to see because of this huge radius. Decrease this to around 0.02 or something, and now this should give you a nice wire. So now slowly, however simple this our network is, it's slowly stacking up. Now I like this effect, it's working fine and all that, but instead of this, let me just decrease the thickness, and you can also decrease the resolution of these wires. So right now these wires have quite a lot of resolution, so you can decrease that from here, or you can just type out 8 or something. I'll keep it 16 since we are dealing with such a simple scene. So shift alt click on this one. What I would like is there to be plenty of wires. So instead of such a relaxed so much of gap between wires, I would like dense wireframe going on. So to do that, what I would need to do is take this convex hull and subdivide this. So in that case, I'll have to add one more subdivision surface. So you can simply duplicate this one and keep it in mind where we plug this. So since we want this subdivision surface to subdivide this convex hull, which later converts into wire, so we'll have to plug this over here, not here, because if I plug this one here, then what it does is basically subdivides the entire wireframe like this, and we don't want that. We just want this subdivision surface to work on this convex hull, and that will make this nice dense mesh out of it. So just a hint, you guys can make rocks out of it if you want. So for instance, you have this one rock, you can make one more rock this way, just saying, there are so many possibilities. So now we have this nicely dense packed mesh, but right now it's covering all the 5 heads, and I don't want that. But I would
this is so useful actually. This is clipping too.
like to do is transform this convex hull to 0.84 or something, maybe 0.87. Yeah, this is fine. So now we have make some nice render out of. So we have quite decent network going on, and just to add one more layer of detail on top of this so that we can discuss a few more things about organizing nodes. So we have basically the main Suzanne head geometry going on, which is this, and then we have this network going on, which basically what it does is creates wireframe of the convex hull. Now after that, I would like to take the same geometry that is going in the convex hull wireframe and scatter some point on top of that. Don't get into the details of point scattering at this moment. So this is just to conclude this chapter. So point instance and
Instance points.
for this point instance to work, we need some input geometry.
Oh. Transfer. Point instance and instance point is different. Instance on point, instance to point. What? Instance on instance. Instance to point. What the heck?
And to conclude,
Point. Points. No, it's different. It's different than his. It's a different instances. Point.
with this chapter. So point instance, and for this point instance to work, we need some input geometry, and with this is a perfect geometry for us to work. Then we can plug this into our churn geometry. But right now in the instance geometry we don't have anything, so what you can do is either bring UV sphere here and pick it from here. You can do that, or if you would like, you can also bring one mesh primitive icosphere from here and plug this one here. But at this moment it's showing us this red wire. That means the geometry is not compatible, because this is geometry node, and this will only work with the geometry section, I mean the geometry that is created in the node network. For that to work, you'll have to change this into geometry and subdivide, change the radius to 0.04.
Damn. Bro, it's it's so freaking different. I guess this is so goes here. Bro, nah. This is so freaking weird. Points. instance goes here. Instance goes here. And geometry. I don't see any geometry here. I guess. No, it doesn't work. I guess this. Points goes there, instance goes here. It isn't working. Oh, whoa. Yo, I just saw something.
Or something. There you go. You have few spheres going on here. Keep in mind, not all the nodes are compatible.
No, it's not compatible, I guess. It's like mesh instance or something. Mesh instance. Dual mesh, no. Point. Realized geometry is not used. Instances too. Oh. Okay, it worked. Damn, it's so big. 0.02. What? Why are they
Compatible with everything. So basically you'll see there are different input types, different color coded sockets. So just like in the shader editor there are different colors for the value inputs, different for the color input we have different color. Similarly here you see the blue ones are basically the vector inputs and the gray ones are basically the values which can be used with the math nodes and all that, and the green ones are geometry inputs. It will take you some time to get used to the color coded inputs and to understand which nodes are working with compatible with what. If you're stuck at some point, take some hint from the design which will help you read the compatibility of the nodes and all that. So now we have this thing going on, whatever abstract we have. So right now we have three major sections. One is this chunk, which basically creates these 5 heads, and then we have this chunk which creates the net, and then we have this chunk which creates the simple particles on top of everything. So just to organize, what you can do is you can also use these two things in the layout section called frame and reroute. So reroute, what it does is, the short command is Shift F. If you hit Shift F and drag on any of the network, what this will do is it will add one reroute, this nice little dot, which will let you arrange your network in whatever way you want. So let's say if you wanted to place it like this, you can do that. Control X will remove that. Or let's say if you wanted to make all of these 4 inputs or 5 inputs, since all of these are taking the same common input from this geometry, you wanted to combine these, then you can Shift F and drag on top of this.
Whoa. Bro. Bro, I'm pressing Shift F and it's just drawing things.
So this way, if you want remove it from this geometry, you wanted to combine these, then you can Shift F and drag on top of this. So this way, if you wanted to add a node before that, you can do that. So in case if you forget any of these commands, you can always visit the menus. Shift F is make and replace links from here, and there are other things like all the commands are located here. So now let's just bring one frame and drag it here. And place it inside this frame. And similarly, you can color code these frames and put some label on top of this. Now at this moment you might be thinking like, why do I have to arrange, put so much of thoughts? Why do I have to do all of this? And just don't think of it from point of view of like what we're doing today, what we're making today. It's quite simple thing. It's not that the assignment is difficult or anything. It's just that when you will be working on the complex examples, it will be really necessary for you to be able to navigate through your node networks without having to do some guessworks, because all of these things look like gray, boxy, like all of these things look quite same. Unless you do some organizing of the nodes and put some thoughts into the colors and all that, you will end up wasting time doing some guesswork. Now, one more thing I would like to discuss is grouping. So here, after the convex hull, we basically subdivided this and converted this into wireframe. So these three nodes, mesh to curve, curve to mesh, and this curve circle. So these three nodes are basically responsible for creating wireframe out of this. Now what if I wanted to make a wireframe of this Suzanne head now? So in that case, I would have to again convert this Suzanne head, the top right one, this one, into curves, and then again back to the geometry and add one circle, which would take too much of space and unnecessary time to repeat that task again. So what we can do is, once you have few nodes which are there to build some effect, you can simply group those nodes. Select these three nodes which are making wireframe, this one, and this one, and hit Ctrl G. What that will do is,
Group input. Mesh to curve. Mesh to curve. Curve to mesh. Curve to circle.
select these three nodes which are making wireframe, this one, and this one, and hit Ctrl G. What that will do is make a group and put you inside that group. You can simply hit tab. Now you see all those three nodes are gone, and instead of that we have this node group. So you can click here again or hit tab again to get into this group again. You can give this one a name. Let's call this one wireframe, and that way you have this nice compact node going on. And this way you can group again. You can give this one a name. Let's call this one wireframe, and that way you have this nice compact node going on. And this way
wireframe.
you can simply shift D and duplicate this, and if you'd like to apply the same effect on any of these models, you can do that just by adding this simple node. I'll remove this wireframe from here. I don't want this here. And 0.01 should be fine. And bring back my subdivision.
What the heck just happened? I feel like I heard something. Damn.
Surface. There you have it. A simple node network going on.
Oh shit. Ah, no. 0.09. That's too much. 0.04. Yeah, the monkey's here. Zero point zero 0.032. Yeah. It looks like a bag.
Just take some time to organize stuff. Cage, call this one cage, and
Layout
right,
frame.
simply drag on top of this, and I'll call this one glitter, whatever. So now
50.
our node network is much more readable, and it's quite easy to jump to the different sections that we have. And however simple the result is at this moment, we are not even trying to accomplish anything complex. I just wanted to give you an overview of the very basics of how to deal with the nodes, the short commands and everything. And there will be many more commands we will discuss when dealing with the later chapters. So for now, just get comfortable with the nodes, play around with the different primitive types, or maybe just make a different kind of abstract. So I'll leave it to as it is for now, and not really overcomplicate things on the very first day. Looking at it, it might would look a very simple thing, and it is actually a simple thing, but think of it from the node point of view and what we have made. It's not really a model. It's not like we have 4 or 5 different objects going on in different arrangement. What we have, like I mentioned before, is a node tree going on, and this node tree is called Suzanne. So if I take any other object now, let's say if I take this UV sphere, and if I apply the same node tree called Suzanne on top of this,
Oh yeah. Okay. So if I make the UV sphere, okay, go in geometry nodes, and okay, add geometry node and okay. I think my stream is going to crash. Oh. Oh. It's quite laggy. But it's working. Damn. Balls. It works actually. Does this one work? Why isn't it working? It's not working. Monkey one works.
what it will do is it will make the very same composition out of that object as well. So now you can see the difference in using geometry nodes or manually working on anything. What this node network have done is taken the same object, the input object. In this case, is it's this sphere, and we have the same arrangement of the object, the 5 different kind of sphere arranged in the same way, and then we have the web going on, the little wireframe, and there should also be some these particles, the glitter, which we had made. Now if I bring one torus, let's bring a torus here. Now we can apply the same effect here, and we have our third abstract. Now imagine if we have some animation going on in this node network. So we will have 3 different animations, and with just a simple click you will be able to apply that entire thing, the materials, the animation, the effect and everything, just just from within this node network. So I think things will get exciting once we get into the later chapters, when we have the modifiers and curves going on. But let's take each step carefully, and so that our foundation is stronger and you have enough understanding to come up with your own effects and your own procedures in the geometry node. Alright, so that's about it for today. I think we have pretty decent simple composition going on made out of Suzanne Hertz. It's not really a complex effect, but that is not the purpose of today's chapter. What I would like you to do is just take some time and go easy on your very first day with the nodes. Just try to get used to all the short commands, organizing stuff, and try to get used to this whole node-based interface. However simple it may sound, but try to think of it like when later we are dealing with complex examples, when you have maybe hundreds of nodes going on, it shouldn't be difficult for you to keep up with it, and as much as you can memorize these short commands now, it will be easy for you to follow along with the complex tutorials. And what we can do is, however simple this composition is, we can make a nice render out of this, and that is what we are going to discuss in the next chapter. However the simple process of adding material is in 3D and Blender, but when it comes to node network and geometry nodes, it's slightly different than how we usually apply materials on the objects. So we will have to embed materials within this node network for it to work. So it's going to be a very quick and short chapter. So let's talk about the materials now, so that we can make renders out of whatever assignments we are going to make in geometry node section. So let's jump to the next section, material.
So I think that's it for today. Like, I understood most of the things. Like, first of all, like transform nodes. This this group input and group output thingy, and it just connects to the geometry thingy. So whatever thing has like the geometry thingy will work with it, I guess. Transformation, everything. This node is basically like on the freaking shapes and things, and yeah, it's showing all the thingies, like the vertices and all that shit. And when I go to the output, it is way too crazy. Yeah, 9 million. Damn, 9 million faces. Oh shit. Bro, my piece. That's why my laptop is like suffering. I think my laptop, I think so, till 5th May, I could get my laptop, I guess. New laptop. I'll probably live stream that time. Showcasing my laptop. Yeah. That's it, I guess.